What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Flex. Sorry I missed you last week. I record this on a phone. It was on the tripod. It fell off the tripod, split open, and lit itself on fire. Therefore, I could not give you an episode of the Flex until I got a new phone to work with and to record myself. But don't worry, I'm back. It's week 11. It is almost playoff time. Let's get to it. This week's version of the Flex. All right, our first question is from Adam. He wants to know who to start in his flex between Dalvin Cook and two Eagles, Nelson Agholor and GolladayTY. I'm going Dalvin Cook with this one. Listen, I know the Vikings haven't run the ball well this year, and Dalvin Cook has not been healthy, but apparently he's a full go this week. He's back, and I think they're going to use him the way that you thought they were going to use him when you drafted him in the first or second round. And honestly, Nelson Agholor, he's not worth a start anymore. GolladayTY, he's new into that offense. Give it some time to work him in. I don't know if he's going to be as effective as he was in Detroit yet. Yes, Carson Wentz is a good quarterback. I do like that Eagles offense, but Zach Ertz is the number one option there, and GolladayTY still needs to learn the offense and get acquainted with Carson Wentz. I think Dalvin Cook is the man here on the flex, especially if he's your flex. I mean, you drafted him to be your RB1 probably, and starting him in the flex is not a bad idea, especially when he's 100%. They are playing Chicago, which is going to be tough, but I do think they are going to try to get him at least 15 to 20 touches. That's what it seems like with Roto. When you read everything on Roto, it seems like he's a full go. So, listen, between those three choices, I'm going to take my chances with Dalvin Cook. I think he has the highest ceiling. Good luck. All right, our next question is from A. Alkine. He wants to know who to start in his flex PPR league between Carrion Johnson, Courtland Sutton, or Demaryius Thomas. And I am very, very tempted to tell you Demaryius Thomas. It still makes me nervous starting people on new teams who have to get acclimated into the offense. I think Courtland Sutton, he had his chance last week to prove something after Demaryius Thomas was gone. 3 receptions, just like every other week, even when Demaryius was there, plus Case Keenum as quarterback. I don't really know if I trust that connection yet. So I'm saying Carrion Johnson, who is the man there in Detroit. I know LeGarrette Blount can vulture him every once in a while, and Theo Reddick's back. Going to take away some snaps in the backfield, but Carrion Johnson has scored 12 or more points in 3 out of his last 4 matchups. That's half-point PPR. So if you got a full-point PPR, that's even more. And 12 or more points in 5 out of his last 7. I think he's a candidate to get into the red zone. He's still a big part of that offense. I think that he's the most solid option out of the 3. I do like Demaryius going forward, but I gotta see it first. Start Carrion. All right, next is Dylan. Dylan wants to know, John Brown, Sterling Shepard, or DJ Moore in the flex? Now, if Flacco was playing, I think this would be a no-brainer. I would say John Brown, but we don't know if Flacco was playing. It is Thursday. I'm recording this on a Thursday. He didn't practice Thursday. Roto's saying that there's a good chance it's going to be Lamar Jackson or RG3. And I'm not starting a wide receiver if that's one of my quarterbacks. So, going off the fact that Flacco might not play, I'm not starting John Brown. DJ Moore, listen, he had plenty of opportunity to prove to us that he might be something in the fantasy football world, and he hasn't done that. I personally started him a week ago, and I was disappointed, and the week before that, he disappointed me and my other friends, so therefore, I am down on you, DJ Moore. I'm not starting you until you prove something. You had one decent week, and that was it. You got a lot of potential, but from here on out, you're on the bench. Sterling Shepard, he had a touchdown last week against the Niners, and I know that Giants offense is putrid, and Eli Manning is just one of the worst quarterbacks in the league right now. It's coming from a Giant fan, but they are playing Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's defense is not that good. Maybe there's some momentum going forward. Out of these 3 options, I like Sterling Shepard the best. Every once in a while, he does put together a good game, no matter how bad the Giants are. So, listen, if you're going to ask me between those 3 who I'm starting, and Flacco's out, I'm going Sterling Shepard. Good luck. All right, our next question is from Phillip Murphy. He wants to know who to start in his flex between Amari Cooper, Courtland Sutton, or John Ross. This is the easy one for me. You heard what I said about Sutton. Listen, he had his opportunity to prove himself as the number 2 in Denver last week. I know it's only been a week, but he only had 3 receptions. Case Keenum as quarterback. No thank you. John Ross, listen, he's touchdown dependent. Andy Dalton had a bad game last week, and they haven't been playing well in Cincinnati. They're going against Baltimore, in Baltimore, who has a very good defense. Even though Flacco's not playing, I has nothing to do with Baltimore and their defense. So I'm going to say sit John Ross, and you're going to start Amari Cooper. He's had 18 targets the past 2 weeks. He's definitely the number 1 option there in Dallas. Dak has been playing better. I'm not a huge Cowboy fan, not a huge fan of that offense, but given the choices, I think Amari Cooper is the obvious start here. Go with him, and good luck. All right, our last question is from Addison, and Addison wants to know who to start in a flex between 2 players, Kenny Golladay and T.Y. Hilton. This is pretty easy to me. First, let's start with T.Y. Hilton, who has not been the T.Y. Hilton we know and love in fantasy football. Yes, he did come back and score 2 touchdowns in his first game back with Andrew Luck, but he had very limited yardage that game. Also has only had 7 receptions in 3 games with Andrew Luck killing it. So that's not a good sign for T.Y. Hilton owners, although I do think he's going to continue to progress and get better as the season goes along. You can't start him over Kenny Golladay, who is now the #1 receiver there in Detroit. Marvin Jones is hurt. He missed practice today. So who knows how many targets he's going to see this week against Carolina, because Matthew Stafford's not going to throw the ball to anybody else. Who does he have? TJ Jones? Come on, give me a break. Golladay is going to see a lot of targets. He scored a touchdown last week. I think he's going to be more acclimated into being that #1 receiver there in Detroit. Start Kenny Golladay, bench T.Y. Hilton, and that is the show for this week, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for being patient. Missed you last week. If you have any questions that you want me to answer, go to Dustin's waiver wire video on Monday. Leave a comment there. That's where I get the questions from. Until then, I will see you next week, week 12 of The Flex.